Author Rala Xenopoulos is joining me in studio. She has just released her third book, Tribe, and boy, is it a page turner.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was just saying how much I love your style.
Thank
so
you.
kudos to that. You're very
Thanks so much.
like funky chic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's
You're
cool.
welcome.
Thanks.
Now, I heard you have triplets.
Yes.
How are they?
Yeah, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. They're full. They're cute. They're full of nonsense, but they're very adorable. They're 10. So I like to think that I've been mothering for 30 years.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 times 10.
You have.
Yeah.
You really have.
Yeah.
I often can't understand how people can raise so many children who are the same age. But I'm sure they kind of work it out themselves.
They do. I always say it's kind of like 3 against 1. And the other day, my son told me something, and my daughter went to him and said, "You told her before you told me?" And he said, "Yeah." She said, "But I've known you longer than she has. I knew you when you were in the tummy, and I knew you when we were in heaven." So it's kind of me against the 3 of them.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we're here to talk about your latest novel, your
Yes.
third novel,
Yeah.
Tribe.
Yeah.
Now before we get into the content of the book, I need to talk about this cover.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
It's a marvelous cover. Yeah, I want to say I'm proud of it, but I had nothing to do with, obviously I didn't design it.
Yeah. It's very I want to say tribal, but it's called Tribe, so I can't. But it's pastel and just so elegant.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Stunning.
Yeah, it's by a company called Jane Says, and I just think they did the most. They really got the essence of the book, and I think they got the essence of the times we're living in, which is what the book is about, so being contemporary. And very up to the minute. And it is tribal. It's sort of like a universal contemporary tribal cover.
When you are picking a cover for the book, do you get several different ones you can choose from, or do they just go for it on one?
This cover we deliberated. I think my publisher at a certain point was considering firing me and the book. Because I was just...
Go away.
Yeah, because we looked at so many covers, and I was determined to go with this company and this designer, and they came with a few options, and eventually him and I both, we were sitting at a trendy coffee shop in town, and we both looked at this one and went, yes! Yeah.
Well, you did a good job, and they did a good job.
Yes, yeah.
Now, the quote on the front of the book is actually from Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
And it says, the less than zero of 2015. Now, we're going to get into the quote in just a second, but you and Chad are friends.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so how did this come about? Did you just ask him to read the book? And
Well, I mailed him and said, "I've got this book. Would you do a quote?" And he said, "Nobody's interested in what I have to say, Rala." And I was like, "Yeah, you'd be a little bit surprised about that." And then he said, "Send me the book, you'd be surprised, but I can read." And at the time, I was deliberating about the title of the book, and immediately after he read it, came back and said, "More Than Zero, call it More Than Zero." Because he loved Less Than Zero.
Yeah.
That was one of his favorite books, so yeah.
now, this wasn't the whole quote that he sent through.
No, I don't know the situation. I never know the situation with broadcasting,
Just
how much
say
we can
whatever you
swear.
want, because it's the internet and it's pre-recorded.
Okay.
So if somebody really doesn't like it, they'll just put a bleep over it.
Okay. So he originally came back and he said, "If you don't fucking love this book, you're an idiot." And we were like, "Okay, Chad, publishers." So he came back and said, "If you don't fucking love this book, you're an asshole." And then that was obviously followed by the Less Than Zero of 2015. And I was very sad, but they left out that beginning book, that beginning quote.
Yeah.
But I still love the Less Than Zero of 2015.
It's everything. I mean, you just look at this book and you think, I need to read it immediately.
Oh, good.
Now, let's talk about the storyline. The book follows a group of friends who have a very strong bond between them. Why did you decide to explore this now?
I think because because I've always felt like a bit of an outsider, and I never had that kind of tribe or that kind of group until I was kind of 40. And it's such an exciting thing to have. And I kind of maybe envied that. And so that was an exciting thing to explore, and an interesting thing to explore, of a gang of friends and whether we can sustain that. And it's such a difficult thing to sustain in the times we're living in, because there's so many interruptions. You know, there's so many interruptions in keeping a friendship alive, and especially a gang of friends, to keep that gang and that tribe. when you're living in different continents and there's the internet and Facebook and Twitter and everything getting in the way. So it did seem like an interesting thing to explore.
Well, you set out to explore that. What did you find the answer was? Is it sustainable, do you think, in your opinion, now?
I think you've got to be fierce. I think you have to be really, really fierce and committed and switched on. I think we have to be very conscious in the times we're living in right now. We have to be really, this book is about a group of friends trying to connect in a very disconnected time. And I don't think any of us, what they discover, and I don't think any of us are aware of, is that we are deluded into thinking we're connected because we're constantly switched on, but actually we're constantly switched off. So you have to navigate your way through life and switch on to the people around you. And in order to do that, you have to switch off. So that's what I discovered through my characters.